Hey guys, this is OddOneGaming. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video. So it's finally here. We finally have the update and we have the Altar of Souls. We have the new dungeon coming out, and you know what, today I just wanted to make a quick video and show you from my experimenting that I've done a little bit off stream what I have found so far, and that's something that's pretty simple and pretty straightforward. Like so far, at least up until the stage that I've gotten to, stage 12, I realized that the easiest way to tackle this boss is gonna be somebody that most of you already might be expecting, or somebody that you might not be expecting, but it's the usual culprit. As with other content, there's usually a certain amount of champions that are really good. Like for example, a Krisk would be amazing here for the sake of survivability and for the decreased speed that he provides. Then like people like Duchess for the AoE mitigations. However, there's another one that's actually really good, and I kind of, honestly, I think that's gonna be the most free-to-play friendly way of beating this boss, and that is good old Geomancer. So for example, the team that you see here that I tried worked pretty easy on this boss. So one thing that we need to be aware of, and that is the stats that we require to beat the boss. So if we go, for example, on Hell Hades' website, if you go on the stages tool, you can go here and let me see. If you go to dungeons, and then if you click on the Iron Twins, they have the stats here required. So let's say we go to 15. So let's say for this one, for Force today, if you want to tackle stage 15, you need to be over 250 speed if you're trying to do this. You need the accuracy 550 accuracy to do for the latest stage, and if you want to resist it, you need around 700 resistance, which is kind of high. But the main thing that I've noticed and that I'm trying here to show is, for example, let me swap this out. This was the team that I built kind of like for the sake of the bomber, but let's swap this out for something that honestly, if you're getting to the point where you're trying to get that high stats and you're trying to tackle this level of boss, you can just do something like this. So I tried with Vogoth and Geomancer. You can remove it, just bring Mithrala, and still have a Vogoth at the end for the sake of healing and survivability, and I'm going to try and keep everybody else. The reason why Mithrala is so good is because she brings lots of stats, increased defense, increased attack, strengthen, and shield. So and also she does cleansing in case she does other debuffs. Remember, the Iron Brand cannot be cleansed. However, the way that I will be doing this is because my Mithrala is so fast. Make her open with the A1. Let me keep the revive as priority and the healing as priority. Remember, you don't care about the other rounds because you straight up face the boss. And here you want the HP burn from Geo. As usual, let me just make myself a little bit smaller so I can explain stuff, but as usual, the reflect damage from Geomancer is gonna be more than enough to deal with this boss. Having Vogoth at the end is just for a little bit of extra healing, but maybe you don't even need a Vogoth, maybe you bring somebody else, just like, I don't know, a Rector for the sake of decreased attack. Remember, you need higher stats at that stage. So for example, for this stage, let me have a look to see if I'm right or wrong. So this is not the one. If we talk about stage 12, I need around 280 accuracy on everybody to land the debuffs. The higher it goes, the harder it is. So for example, for now, my Hydra Geo that has 410 accuracy does it pretty easy. So let's just straight up watch the run and see how this one actually goes. The tactic that I'm using for this team is pretty simple. I'm not using the decreased speed. So look at this one over here. So this one says whenever the Iron Twins HP drops below certain thresholds, it instantly cleanses and attacks all enemies, which is us. But the thing is like this. This one cannot be procced by poisons or by the reflect damage from Geomancer. So Geomancer's passive and HP burn, the reflect that he does from getting hit and pushing the damage back, does not proc this one. Brogni does proc it. I noticed earlier I was trying it, Brogni does proc it, but Geo does not. Also, there's another thing that says here, fills the Iron Twins turn meter by 10% whenever an enemy, which is us, receives a buff. So by having people like Mithrala that does lots of buffs, we will push the turn meter of the boss forward. And that's what you want to do. This one will be procced only if we don't have decreased speed. If you put decreased speed on the boss, he's not going to gain turn meter for every time you buff yourself. So the tactic that I'm doing is pretty simple. I just let them start with this. Okay, I put the HP burn. I start with this, and then I let her do all the buffs. Boss gets a turn, guess what? Start hitting us. Look at the damage going out there. Everybody else does whatever. A1s put a decrease attack, that's gonna help. More buffs, boss gets another turn. So the more we proc the boss to come back to his turn, the faster we do damage. As you saw, he cleansed himself because he got past the 35% threshold. However, we're gonna do the A1 now, more poisons. A1 from Vogoth, extending all those other debuffs. He keeps hitting us. Boom, HP burn back again on the boss. More buffs, boss gets another turn. So my tactic is pretty simple. Put the HP burn on with Geomancer, then do buffs and let the boss get as many turns to kill himself on the Geomancer Reflect. The reason why this Geomancer is so good, by having this one that's the Hydra one, is because my Hydra Geo has Reflex on him. Reflex, what does it do? Reflex basically has a chance of refreshing the cooldown of the champion skill. So by having his A3 locked, I have a chance of keep refreshing his HP burn. By doing that, as I come back to it, so it doesn't matter that we keep pushing the boss's turn meter forward, we come back to it and we should be able to be fine. You know, it's not perfectly fine-tuned, it's not perfectly speed-tuned, but it's the testing that I've done and it actually works. Obviously, once I get to stage 15, I'm gonna try and do this again, and I'm gonna try and show, like, let's say a free-to-play version of it. But to be fair, this is, I'm not sure you can get any more free-to-play than this. Like, yeah, Mithrala, she's a legendary, a void legendary, but you get her from doing the Hydra a certain level. Like, you know, maybe stage 12, he's not hitting as hard, but it still looks pretty easy. We have the survivability stats from Mithrala, we have from the healing from Vogoth at the back, we have the healing and buff extension from Godseeker. Look at this, she keeps extending those buffs on ourselves. And then we just rely on the damage from Geomancer's A3. If Geomancer gets killed, guess what? We have two revivers in here. Rector Drath and Godseeker. Honestly, Rector doesn't do too much here for me, but it's like everybody else has a perfect role. You just need to come back to Geo's HP burn and you do that. If you want to make this even better, like maybe you have 4 Geomancers. For example, I only have 3. I would build a 4th one specifically for this because I would need to give more accuracy on him. But look at this. This looks so easy. Look at this. We keep boosting. Look at the damage that we do. I mean, it's a bit slower because we had, you know, we had the bad luck of keep having him cleanse, but still, this is pretty easy. Look at that. Look at that. The boss kills himself. The more AoEs the boss does, the faster he kills himself. So this is honestly, this boss is easier than I expected. It's a lot easier than I expected. So this team goes all the way. Like I said, if you don't have a Vogoth, bring another healer, bring a Doom Priest. I would not bring, I was thinking like, okay, bring a Syl. I would not bring a Syl of the Drakes because Syl has a chance to place a decreased speed, and by doing that, every time we buff, we don't push the boss's turn meter fast. So it's pretty simple, guys. Get the Geomancer in there, get tanky people and survivable people in there. Then maybe do some buffs to protect your Geo, and Geo's gonna be the one that's gonna be killing the boss. The time is like a little bit high because I stopped it and read the skills and explained the skills. But let's close it and let's go again and let's see how this one actually goes. And one thing that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna tweak over here is, let's look at the presets. I'm gonna have Godseeker open with the A1 so that Mithrala gets a chance to do her buffs and then Godseeker extends them. So lock the A2 here, just keep the A3. Here you don't care. Here you can lock his A2 because he's not going to be able to provoke. And then let Mithrala do her magic and Geo do his magic. So let's run again, and I'm going to leave this key because this is going to be the last key that I can do. You know, it costs you 150 gems to buy the keys from here per day, but it's totally worth it, guys. It's totally worth it to do that. So we start with the A1 there. Now let's do all the buffs. Boom. The boss gets a turn. He starts killing himself. Do the A1s with everybody, so just keep everybody surviving in here. A1 from her, if she lands a decreased attack, that's fine. If not, it's fine again. Boss gets another turn, again, we're fine. Godseeker's gonna come, boom, heal and extend all of those buffs that we have. And now we just wait for the boss to kill himself. Also having poisons from Mithrala helps. That's also going to be a good thing because, you know, poisons also do damage and do not proc this cleanse. So like I said, poisons and the reflect does not proc it. Now, because she did too much damage, she actually proc that, but that's fine. I'm just going to wait to come back to Geomancer's A3, to place it again, to place that HP burn again, and then leave the boss to kill itself. So yeah, this shouldn't be too crazy. If you have a Geomancer, this should be the easiest way for you to deal with it. If not, I'm gonna think of other way, you know, I'm gonna test some other stuff and see how we can actually deal with this boss. But so far, from my first testing, the easiest way is Geomancer. So I guess let's just enjoy the rest of this. Let's watch this go till the end. Keep doing those boss with Mithra to keep getting his turn. And then we keep going. Another way that you can maybe improve this team is... I haven't tested perfectly myself. I know that if you spread buffs, if you spread debuffs with somebody like Harken or Vizier, it doesn't count as Geo's HP burn, but maybe you can extend the duration of those debuffs with a Vizier. So if you have a Vizier in here, bring him in. Against Spirit, you might be like, oh yeah, but he's gonna be wrong affinity. Yeah, that's true. Vizier is gonna be wrong affinity. However, Geo just places the HP burn on the A3. So because he places it, it's not a problem about affinity. Even if it's wrong affinity, he can still do the job just fine. Like, okay, this is a little bit slower than I expected because we keep proccing the clans, but still, it's pretty easy. We have enough survivability, like I said, from Mithrala, from Vogoth, from Godseeker, so this is pretty easy. Like I said, it does ramp up from 12 to 15. I'm gonna make a video again after I can unlock stage 15, but I'm expecting to see roughly the same thing. Honestly, I'm expecting to see the same thing. I'm not expecting to see much of a change in here because, you know, as long as your people are tanky enough, look at that, the boss kills himself. So yeah, I guess this is gonna be for the video today, guys. Thank you for watching, and I hope this is helpful for you. I hope this shows you how to beat this boss and the easiest way to do it. And you know, I'm gonna come back with other videos, maybe with other tactics, maybe with some sharp pulls, let's call them like that for the sake of souls. But for now, we're gonna leave it at this. So thank you for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy my content. There's like around 80% of you that are watching my content but are not subbed. I would really appreciate it because, you know, I'm trying to get now to that 8,000 subscriber goal so that I can get to tier 3 and have access to the test server and try and show you and test as much things as I can to show you guys, to try and help you out as always. But thank you for watching, guys, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Peace, love, take care everyone. Bye.